can still recover from there.
Right.
All you do is just release, because your weight's on the front foot.
Right.
All you do is release the front foot.
Uh-huh.
Because I trapped you on the front foot. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But make sure your weight will get trapped.
Right.
Because when you move across, you put your weight.
Right.
So what I just did is I bring in this. That's why you have to use your eye. I bring in this. See that?
Right.
Across. Like then.
Right.
So you have to.
And.
Right. See when you push here,
Right.
be very careful because there's no Chi Sao.
Right.
So it's all right. You trap my elbow,
Yeah.
but there's no Chi Sao there.
Right.
That's how the Chi Sao comes in.
Right.
So you have to be very careful when someone will pass out.
Right. So you take them off. Boom. Right.
So when you do, there's some, say from here,
Right.
and you do laps out.
Yeah.
Firstly, because you let me come up here.
Right.
So when you do a laps out, straight away you use.
Got problems.
Right. So you should, firstly, you should let me here rather than.
Right. Right. So I need to keep you here.
Yeah.
Right.
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 Yeah. Right. Then when I do that, you can get out. Get out first.
Right.
You get the bottom one out first. See, sometimes you can try something like this. So with you take. Yeah. The size step, little size step.
Right.
Okay. Here. And then say you try this one. Here. Right. You block first before you adjust your footwork.
Right.
Right. Don't wait for the footwork to block.
Right.
But they're in the wrong position.
Uh-huh. Right.
Block first. You know, don't step in, then block.
Right.
Block first, then you get in the right position.
Right.
I think the real thing is certain attack, say you charge in, step in, certain attack,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. Or you can actually get away. You can actually wait for this.
Right.
Wait for it to come.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Mm. So.
The other way.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You see that? Yeah.
So a little bit of pushing, that's all right.
Right.
You should have the hooks out.
Right.
Right. So when I do that,
Right.
you should have Chi Sao.
Ah.
Yes, so you try.
So yeah. So stop that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then straight away you can attack, which is
So I can attack
punch.
punch.
This punch.
Ah. Yeah. And again, it's
Still going
it's
back
using the
to-
basics of the Sifu Dom still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those things that all those attack they do cannot eventuate
Right.
if you do the right things.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how much wiser you are now, but these are really much wiser.
Right.
So that was a private lesson with Grandmaster Cheung back in 1995. And this is Pete Norris and I in 1997, putting into practice the elements that we learned from Grandmaster Cheung. This is Chi Sao done at the speed of reflex action, and this is the transition from doing Chi Sao into doing sparring. But the same things apply, still applying the BOEC strategy of looking at the opponent's balance, looking for the opening, looking for his elbow and arms crossed, so that you're attacking his balance, you find the opening, you control the elbow so that you can get on the blind side, and you look to pin his arms if his arms are crossed. This is at normal speed, and then we'll review again at in slow motion, so you can actually see some of the moves that are coming about and how they're executed. Okay, so we can see now in slow motion that we're in the rotation here, and I take a palm strike to Pete's centre. Pete goes for a Jutsu and a Gang Sao. I laps out his leading arm, then cross his arms up for the punch. He then comes out with a Bong Sao, jams my kick. He tries to disengage my grip. I go for a punch to the solar plexus, laps out and a punch to the throat. And then we break. This is followed up with, I take a kick to Pete's ribs. I'm watching his elbow. I cover his leading arm. I see his rear arm and I cross his arms up and punch to the throat. He steps back and he's throwing a punch, so I move away, cross his arms and do a man sao to the throat. I try to control his leading arm with both my front and rear arm, but he doesn't allow that. Then he moves in with a palm, and I check his elbow, try to trap him up. He tries to punch, I knock it away, kick for the open target, and then cover and punch for the solar plexus. I look down at his elbow, it looks like he's going to punch, so I'm moving away. Pete preparing to move in. I'm watching Pete's leading elbow. I see an opportunity for a quick lap sao, so I move in, and he moves away and then bonks out, wu saos, and back out to pre-contact distance. So now I try to progressively attack with a low punch followed by a lap sao, followed by another lap sao, then trying to cross Pete's arms up, get a low punch to the floating rib, and then a high punch that Pete blocks. Pete was also changing the angle during that attack so that he was preventing me from getting onto the blind side. And he goes to defend my potential kick lap sao and punch to me. I then go in with a punch, turn that into a lap sao, palm to the face, and he blocks my last punch with a wu sao. And again we break. So I check his arm, go to punch, and then I cover his leading arm, control it as I put in a side kick. Check the leading arm, cross his arms up, palm strike, another punch, and then I go to try to arm lock him, but I'm late on that and I'm on the way out, so it's not successful. So we're at pre-contact distance again. I grab Pete's hand. This time as it comes back, I got hold of it, so I twist it at an angle 45 degrees. Watch the knee that goes in. You don't see that at normal speed. And then a rear hand strike for the ground, and we don't contest anything on the ground at this point because we're training Wing Chun and we're not into the grappling at this stage in 1997. And Pete gets back to his feet, and then I come in with a rear leg front kick, which he defends with both arms. Lets me do a lap sao, another lap sao, cross him up, punch to the throat, another punch to the throat, side palm to the head, another palm to the head, and then a punch to the face, and then I move out. So a successful set of punches. Notice Pete's arms were tied up at that moment, which is the same thing we're doing in the Chi Sao. Pete blocks my kick. I defend his kick. It stops me from coming in for a moment, and then I re-establish, and then I get stuck here because I think Pete's going to lap sao, so instead of that I disengage straight away, not giving him the chance. He blocks my leg, I hold back, and then I hold enough time to side kick and then get in with cross arm and a punch and then a palm strike. A little sweep to the leg, you don't see that normally, and it's with a pull on the hand and then a punch. I don't normally see that at normal speed. And then back out again. So this time a little hop, which looks like a front kick. Pete does a lap sao and a punch. I lap sao the punch, packs out and punch, and he defends it with a tan sao, so I have to move back out again. So this time I see the knee coming up. I'm checking in case Pete's kicking, and I decide to bridge. So I move in, hit strike to the stomach, lap sao, punch to the face, then a man sao, followed by a punch, followed by a palm strike, and then try to deal with Pete's punch on the way back out. It's always easier if you can get the blind side because you don't have to worry about the other incoming attack because you're positioned. So kick to the ribs, punch to the face, check the arm and punch, and then Pete's punches after that. Checking Pete's arm on the way in is to gauge the distance as well as to deflect his leading arm. So trying to find my way in, check the leading arm, punch to the ribs, punch to the face, another punch to the face, this time on the blind side so you don't have to worry about another rear hand shot. Now as I'm moving away here, Pete palm goes towards the face, then goes to kick. I cover my leg so I don't get hit in the knee, laps out, followed by another laps out. Pete's arms are crossed and a punch to the throat. And at this point we end the Chi Sao / sparring session, and that's that. So we started the video with Grandmaster William Cheung, and it's only fitting that we finish the video with a demonstration from Grandmaster Cheung. So we can see here him doing Chi Sao in the Shaolin Temple with, I believe it's Sifu Bruce Correlus, and Grandmaster was using all the principles of Wing Chun. He's achieving the blind side, he's attacking Bruce's balance, the opening, he's controlling the elbow, and he's going for arms crossed. Grandmaster starts by attacking the centre and then moves to the blind side. One of the main skills in Wing Chun is being able to use two arms against one arm of your opponent so that you have the advantage. If you can couple this with achieving the position on the blind side, then you have the strategic advantage of being able to use your weapons and the other person is not able to use theirs without changing their position in relation to you. So this Chi Sao practice allows you to hone your reflexes so that you can implement your strategy. Anyway, we will review this more closely in slow motion and see how this comes about and how the Grandmaster does it. Okay, so here we are. Grandmaster does a laps out, then a packs out and a punch to Sifu Bruce, moves to the blind side, controls the leading elbow, and they go to the rotation, so they start the session properly. And Grandmaster strikes through the centre, the palm strike, covers the arm, tries to cross arm, punch, laps out with his rear hand, punch, another punch, cross arms, Sifu Bruce up, and then laps out and a punch, and then packs out a side palm. So using all the principles of Wing Chun there, moving to the blind side, attacking the balance, the opening, the elbow, and the arms crossed. Straight palms through the centre there on Sifu Bruce. Quick front kick, pushes the arms, attacks the balance. Sifu Bruce taken by surprise, steps back, tries to cover, and then comes back in again. And they go to the rotation. So Grandmaster side palm through the centre to the jaw, then a lap sao and a punch, followed by another lap sao and a punch. Grandmaster continuing to chase Sifu Bruce back, trying to cross his arms up, and does a side palm followed by another side palm, and keeping Sifu Bruce under pressure. Sifu Bruce picking up his foot, trying to change the angle. Sifu Bruce doing a good job here. He's lifting his back foot up and changing the angle, which prevents Grandmaster from fully achieving the blind side. So Sifu Bruce knows what Grandmaster is trying to do there, and he's trying to thwart that as much as he can, although Grandmaster is in the superior position. So back to the rotation. Grandmaster strikes through the centre with a side palm, and then they hold for a second, and then Grandmaster finds a way through, comes underneath, goes through the centre with the palm, Sifu Bruce stepping backwards, Grandmaster chasing, covering with one arm, striking with one arm, covering and striking, each time trying to cross up Sifu Bruce's arms when he crosses his centre. Sifu Bruce does a laps out and a punch, Grandmaster deflects and counters back. So a little exchange there, and then Grandmaster goes through the centre, controls Sifu Bruce's leading arm, pushes it to cross arm. Sifu Bruce gets his foot sao out and prevents Grandmaster from pushing that position any further offensively. And then back to the rotation. And yeah, so they're now resetting. Grandmaster comes underneath with his Tan Sao, strikes to the jaw, Sifu Bruce stepping back. Grandmaster slips from his Fuk Sao underneath and strikes through the centre twice with the palm strike, covers and then goes in with a straight palm, then a side palm, then another palm or punch, controlling Sifu Bruce's other arm, which is affecting Sifu Bruce's balance. So again, balance opening, elbow and arms crossed for the weaknesses on your opponent. So you're attacking those weaknesses and you're protecting those weaknesses in yourself. Again, Grandmaster initiates with a strike through the center. Cross leg position. Laps out to the elbow, low punch, high punch. Tries to come over the top. Sifu Bruce gets his Fuk Sao there. Grandmaster laps out to the elbow and a side palm, trying to move to the blind side. Sifu Bruce again stepping with his right rear leg to prevent Grandmaster from fully achieving that objective by changing the angle. So back to the rotation. Trying to switch sides, and then Grandmaster comes through the center with his left palm strike from his Tan Sao position. Catches Sifu Bruce on the jaw, makes Sifu Bruce step back, crosses up Sifu Bruce's arms, goes through with another strike. So affecting Sifu Bruce's balance, his arms crossed, and then going for an opening. This time slipping underneath, going for a palm strike, controlling Sifu Bruce's other arm. Again, the cross arm position coming up, so Grandmaster Cheung is trying to take advantage of the arms crossed. Difficult to see because all we can see is Sifu Bruce's back. But what is apparent is Grandmaster has trapped and pinned Sifu Bruce from the blind side and has the advantage. When the blind side is achieved, you're further away from your opponent's rear hand and rear leg, so you're only dealing with one side of the opponent. So that's the strategic advantage that the traditional Wing Chun tries to achieve. This, of course, is a game of reflexes, so that you're so a palm from the Fuk Sao from Grandmaster, then slips inside and initiates another straight palm to attack Sifu Bruce in the center. Uses this to come around to capture his elbow, and then moves in with a straight palm or straight punch. Again, arms crossed, and continues to chase Sifu Bruce, who's moving backwards, and uses two arms at the same time, continually chasing down the center to keep Sifu Bruce under pressure. And the session ends there. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Sifu Dom Békés, and thank you for watching.